Chair Winfield, ranking members Fishbon and Kissel, distinguished members of the Judiciary Committee. Thank you for letting me come here today to submit testimony on Bill 6682. You have my written testimony, and I'd like to cede the balance of my time to Heather Rodriguez, who has signed up to testify because she is going to make a compelling case for this bill.
Good morning, everyone, or probably almost afternoon. My name is Heather Rodriguez, and I'm testifying in support of HB 6682. My daughter Karina was brought into this world on 7/31/93 at 2:43 p.m. after a 31-hour labor. Karina was a beautiful, healthy baby that grew into a beautiful, smart, giving, loving woman. She was my firstborn, my first daughter, and my first love. Karina was the oldest of 9 siblings and an amazing mother to 3 fun-loving, beautiful sons, who at the time of her death were only 1, 4, and 5 years old. The boys miss their mother daily and ask about her daily. They often ask me questions that I find myself holding back the tears, searching for age-appropriate answers for them to make sure that I'm here for when they need to be held while crying for their mom. Karina's had a big personality, was fun, kind-hearted, with a smile that would always light up the darkest of rooms. On the evening of December 10th, 2018, Avery Hallbrooks felt entitled to exert final and permanent control over my daughter and her unborn baby's life, while my daughter fought so hard to save when he fatally stabbed my daughter 47 times in her neck, hands, chest, and body. Avery Hallbrooks had a history of domestic violence and controlling behavior. All Karina wanted was to give her sons the life that she had growing up. I also was robbed of the title of being called Nana because I now play the role of mom to the sons left behind due to domestic violence. Losing Karina has been devastating to our families, friends, and community. The impact is overwhelming and will be lifelong. At my sentencing hearing, Judge Streichben out of New London County and the prosecutor, Sarah Bowman, had us read our impact statements that we poured our hearts out on requesting for the maximum sentence. Little did we know the impact statement, the plea deal for 40 years was already signed off on behind closed doors. Unfortunately, it seems Connecticut courts and lawmakers are more concerned about the rights of the convicted killers than the rights of victims. Families are required to fight for justice and our rights for justice for the day that we get the horrific knock on the door telling us that our loved ones have been killed violently, and that we all know that domestic violence is personal and violent. Families deserving assurance, and we've been basically given a life sentence, and we would appreciate it if the murderers are also get a life sentence.
Thank you. Comment, question from members of the committee. Representative Fishbon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming here. One of the very tragic stories that we hear all too often in the state. My takeaway from you asking to pass this law would be to increase the penalty. Is that what you're asking us to do?
Yes.
And are you aware of the other impact having to do with bond being issued for somebody who's charged with special circumstances murder? It's a yes or no. That's fine.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Not with the bond.
Yeah, because what happened in your case? So the bad person, the murderer, was arrested, and at the arraignment, were they released?
No. He was
Okay.
charged with first-degree murder.
And what was the bond? Do you recall?
I think it was originally $1 million, raised to $2 million.
Okay. And just so that, you know, one of the benefits, I think, from this law, if it would pass, is that an individual charged with special circumstances murder can be held without bail. Because I guess the concern from my perspective is, you know, you get people that are of means, or you get people who get a GoFundMe account, right? So if the court sets a bond at $1 million for somebody who stabbed someone 47 times, and somebody says I was wrongfully accused, or we got a GoFundMe, then they're going to be able to bond out,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So that's a concern. So I sit here in support of what you're asking us to do, and I think that we need to start to take these cases a little bit more seriously. And I thank you and Representative Cheeseman for coming here today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Representative Callahan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, ma'am, for the bravery in coming here today. I'm sure it's a very difficult, emotional time to sit here and address this committee. It's tough enough just to come into this building, but for the bravery, thank you. And I appreciate Representative Cheeseman sitting next to you and supporting you. And I just wanted to ask you, Representative Cheeseman, if there's anything you'd like to add for the reason you're here today.
Thank you. Well, when Heather approached me, her daughter Corinna was killed in my district in East Lyme. I felt public hearings are about having a conversation and about having people in our state, whatever their interests, whatever their walk of life, express their views and how important this is to her. Connecticut saw 12 cases of intimate partner murder last year, 4 in New London County alone. And this would apply not just to intimate partner crime, but family violence crime. What greater betrayal do we face as human beings than to have loved ones who are supposed to embrace us and treasure us and be there for us, be the ones that take our lives away, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's violence in a family. That is the ultimate betrayal of our human bonds. And surely when you look at the other list of special circumstance crimes, this crime of someone who should be your treasure, taking your life, and the effect it has on the families, surely this crime deserves to be included in that special circumstance crime. And because her story was compelling and because I thought it was worth hearing, that's why we're here today. And I want to thank you so much for allowing this public hearing to take place and hearing Heather's testimony and Corinna's story.